Yo, 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 what up? It's your brother, Zoe Williams. Happy Monday. What up, what up, what up? Is Monday a holiday like that where you happy Monday? Nzinga, what up? Happy Monday. Yep, we're alive, so I guess we have to celebrate it. Sounds good, man. I had to make sure the audio was cracking. What up, what up? We good? Everybody in the chat, just do me a favor. Put your city in there so I can shout your city out. So, again, me and my daughter have been having this conversation over the past couple of weeks. And we were just talking about how LA, there's a misconception of Los Angelinos, right? And my argument was many people who have a misconception of Los Angelinos are not from here. So, folks will come from other places to connect, right? And I'm sure other cities and other towns experience this phenomenon as well. Like if you and when I say from, I mean born and raised, in a certain part, y'all know y'all culture and y'all territories and y'all hood better than anybody else. You guys understand the differences. Oh, that's how the North Side act, or that's how the South Side act, or the West Side be trip. Y'all know everything it is to know about where y'all from. Well, Los Angelinos are the same way. But what I find is there is a huge misconception. A person will go to Oakland and be like, man, California, they be tripping over. It's like, that's Northern Cal. Or they'll go to Sacramento and be like, yo, Sacramento people, first off, California is one of the largest states in America. It's the most populous state in America. And there's a lot of topography to be covered. People are very different in different parts of the state. Now, the misconception that has flooded everybody's mind is that everybody in California is Hollywood. And you're starting to see like that's not the case. Hollywood is Hollywood. I've said it before, TMZ represents 30-mile zone. The 30-mile zone, that is Hollywood. So, and Kendrick, he references this in his new album, GNX, when he does the Dodger Blue song, when he's basically saying, how you hating on the city and you can't come past the 10. Like, you don't go past the 10. Like, a lot of people come out here from other places to be in the entertainment industry and try to apply this entertainment industry moniker on to everybody that's from here. And you have no idea. People from Long Beach are way different than people from Pomona, than people from Victorville, than people from, you understand what I'm saying? Like, people are different. And every hood got its own little vibration. Every hood's got its own little frequency. Like, for instance, you hear me talk about Pasadena often. I was raised in Pasadena. Altadena, Pasadena. Did y'all know that UCLA and USC, although their rivalry is, a rivalry that stretches decades, like into, I think it's 9 decades, 90 times or almost 100 times they've played against each other. Did you know they play for a bell? USC and UCLA, they play for a bell. Did you know they stole that tradition from the high schools in Pasadena that play in the Rose Bowl? I think there was the 75th turkey tussle between Pasadena High and John Muir High. You say, why is that relevant? Well, UCLA and USC took that tradition. That tradition was first started in Pasadena. You say, well, Pasadena is a little school. Why do we care? Do you know how many, or Pasadena is a little city. Why do we care? Pasadena used to be one of the blackest, most flyest cities in the world when it was black. It's not as black as it was. I mean, it's barely black now. But back in the day, you get somebody like Octavia Butler that comes out of John Muir High. You get somebody like Chris McAllister who comes out of, Chris McAllister, that's right, the one who used to play for the Baltimore Ravens, comes out of Pasadena High. You get Michael Cooper, Pasadena High. You get, I mean, come on, you get Jackie Robinson, John Muir. You get Stacey Augmon, John Muir. Like, when you start to really think about Pasadena as a city, you know, it has its own culture. And USC and UCLA took the Bell tradition from Pasadena High and John Muir High. Now, you got to be from here to know that. That's why Kendrick was dropping that specific LA stuff in the Dodger blue, because a lot of people come here and have a negative opinion about here and then try to label everybody from here as Hollywood. You got people who were raised here that don't even fuck with Hollywood. You understand? Like, they could care less. So I just wanted to cover that real quick. I'm sorry. Let me get this started before. All right, it's back. I had to take it off the website for a second, but He Is Risen is back. I got a whole bag full over here as supplied to me by nephew and uncle. Now, uncle is Russell Herbals. Now, we encourage and urge you to get a detox. I believe these will work even better with the detox, but I tell you what, on their own, the He Is Risen supplement created by Dr. Russell Harrison from russellherbals.com. I guarantee you, whether you get a detox or not, but I highly encourage you to go get a detox. These are going to work better than all of the blue pills. These are going to work better than Blue Chew. These are going to work better than all of that stuff. It's going to work way better than all of that stuff. It's all natural. He puts some of the ingredients on here, and I'm not going to read them, but he got some stuff in here for you. And I'm telling you, all natural. I put this up against anything, and I've had them all. I've tried them all. I put it up against anything. Go to my website right now, MrZoWhat.com. Go to MrZoWhat.com. And I'm telling you, we have a limited amount. I think he gave me about 30 of these. So you better order them now. Like, this is not going to be here long. So you better get them now. And he went back to 10 pills. So you get 10 capsules. Because for a minute, he went down to 8. See, Dr. Russell is very meticulous with his herbs. He felt like 8 was more than enough, right? Like 8 is enough, you know, because these things are exceedingly powerful. These are very, very, very powerful herbs that elicit a response. And trust me, it stays in your system, right? These are herbs. Listen, no chemicals whatsoever, right? Now, again, if you want to consult with Dr. Russell Herbals for a detox, I want you to call him, 323-474-5099. That's 323-474-5099. 323-474-5099. I'm telling you. But I only have a few of these, and I just told my web guy to put the link back on the website. So you guys can go there now. He Is Risen. Russell, Zoe, nephew. Yes, 323-474-5099. I'm telling you, get it now. Get it. All right. Also, Total Package Energy, the greatest energy drink in the world. Black-owned business out of the Oakland area. You already know what it is. Bay Area, Yay area, town business. You know what it is, my homeboy. Good friend of mine. I love his brother Abdul. He's a great brother. Created a great product. Been rocking with him for over 9 years. Total Package Energy. If you on that energy, don't buy C4. Don't buy. They give you wings. What is that? Oh yeah. What is that? It gives you wings. I done forgot the name of it. Red Bull. Don't buy Red Bull. Don't buy any of that stuff. Get Total Package Energy. Support Total Package Energy, black-owned business. Everybody hit the like button, hit the share button. Support. You do know Shepherd Sweets is doing holiday treats. It's a little too late for Thanksgiving, but Christmas and New Year's, Red Bull, Monster, all of that stuff, man. Don't buy any of that stuff. Get Total Package Energy. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you. Don't forget Shepherd Sweets. I meant to promote the sister for Thanksgiving, but forgot all about it. Been busy, been working. A lot of positive things are coming up. Can't talk about them, but a lot of positive things are coming up for Zoe Williams, your brother. We trying to get it all cracking, so I want you guys to jump in. I'm trying to move as quickly through this as I possibly can. I'm going to reiterate, go get He Is Risen. Go get it right now. You already know, if you order today, I ship it tomorrow. If you want a shipment of this to go out tomorrow, go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. He Is Risen. And I'm going to ask people to support my book. Right? The Shrouded Lighthouse, my 2021 book. Support it right now. All right, at my website. All right, let's get to it. 2024 flew by rather quickly. People are tripping. But let me get to it. Wow. Megachurch founder T.D. Jakes suffers health incident during sermon at a Dallas church. The founder of Dallas-based megachurch, the Potter's House, Bishop T.D. Jakes, suffers what the church called a slight health incident while delivering his sermon at the church. Jakes, who is 67 years old, was speaking to churchgoers Sunday when he sat down and began trembling as several people gathered around him, with one person asking for prayers. Bishop T.D. Jakes experienced a slight health incident and received immediate medical attention following his powerful hour-long message, the church said in a statement. Jakes' daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and her husband, Torrey Roberts, said in a social media video late Sunday that Jakes was improving. Bishop is doing well. He's recovering well. He's under medical care. He's strong, Torrey Roberts said. The couple did not say where Jakes was taken, and a message left with the church Monday morning was not immediately returned. The 67-year-old Jakes founded the non-denominational Potter's House, which now has more than 30,000 members, in 1996, with campuses in Fort Worth and Frisco, Texas, and in Denver, according to his website. All right, so let's get to it. A lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about T.D. Jakes. Right? A lot of people have a lot of negative things to say about T.D. Jakes. I don't know the man personally. What I do know is he's a gifted speaker, but that doesn't let you off the hook for any improprieties. People have associated him with Diddy and his parties, and there's another video floating around, all alleged, saying, he's homosexual, he's gay. And so what happens is when you have all of these negative narratives out about you, in a disgusting way, in my opinion, people start up the judgment or the crucifixion of you. You guys heard me say this before. If you use this system to rise, the very same system that you use to ascend will be the system that ultimately spells your end, that ultimately tears you down. You look no further than Mike Tyson. Look no further than Michael Jackson. Look no further than anybody that has used this system to rise to dizzying heights. You get pulled down. Now, this isn't to say that Jakes didn't do what he's accused of. This isn't to say that Jakes' hands are clean. What this is saying from my perspective is, I don't know the man and I don't know anything that he did other than his preaching. But I'm wise enough to understand that just because somebody is articulate, just because somebody is well-read, just because somebody is, charismatic in a particular belief system, it doesn't mean that they're not human. And then at the same time, the brother's on stage, 67 years old, and he has a stroke, and many of us are applauding it. See, I'm from a different generation. In our generation, nobody's celebrating the downfall of somebody else. We're actually sad for them. It's like a mourning that takes place, and I'll tell you why. Because we understand that all human beings are flawed. And just because it's their turn right now doesn't mean that your turn might not be around the corner. This is why when you do better in life, you are encouraged to be grateful, to be appreciative. Because guess what? Sometimes it don't matter what you know. It doesn't matter who you know. Sometimes opportunities just elude you. So there is a little bit of luck involved in your ascension. So you should be thankful. You should be grateful that, oh, you know what? I didn't have to wait 8 relationships before I found the one. I had a really bad one, and then the next one was the one. Like, you should be thankful that those opportunities present themselves to you. And you should refrain from comparison and judgment of another. Now, like I said, I don't know anything about this brother's indiscretions. I don't know anything about it. I have no idea. And just because I don't know about it doesn't mean that they aren't existent. But it's none of my business to talk about another man's issues. Whatever is going on with him is going on with him. But as a fellow human being, nobody wants to see a man die on stage. Nobody wants to see that. Fat Man Scoop just went through that. Nobody wants to see that, right? Brother had a stroke. This reminds me of, I'm not even going to speak on that. Brother had a stroke, or it appears that he had a stroke, and all I could do is wish the man well. I hope he makes it back, a full recovery. You see people putting memes out there of him with his shirt off with Diddy at a freak off. People people saying the chickens done came home to roost, God trying to get him up out of here so he don't have to face the pressure of Diddy. I mean, the internet, listen, I remember before the internet, we used to see bully cops as the little punks that were in school. The girls didn't like them. They used to get bullied, and then they become police officers, and then they get everybody back. Pulling people over, wilding, because now they have a sense of power. Well, the internet has made everybody that little punk, that little bully that was in school. It's really terrible. Speak on your own demons. It's easy to speak on another man's demons, but speak on your own demons. Why is it so hard for you to speak on your own demons? And I mean in a transparent way, in an open and honest way. Speak on your own demons. It's easy to go, man, that's a terrible man right there. That man is evil. But if I say, what's wrong with you? What happened to you? What haven't you healed from? What haven't you dealt with? It ain't about that. This man is in a position of power, and this man is this, that, and the third, and you taking advantage of yourself. Let's talk about your relationship with your mama. Let's talk about your relationship with your father. Let's talk about your relationship with yourself. See, we extrapolate power by tearing each other down. I've been saying the same thing for the longest, right? Stay out of the way of other people's drama. Stay out of the way of other people's downfall. Do y'all remember back in the day, you couldn't talk negative about somebody who got ill, who got sick? Your mama would be like, hey, what is you doing? Don't speak on their issues. You get shut down for that. Now the internet, well, we should call it what it is, the internet bully. The internet has given rise to the internet bully. Right? I think it's very important that we understand what kind of world we live in right now. Right? You don't have power in your life, so you get power from the internet. Right? You don't have power over your own demons, but let's just talk about people. Let's try to tear people down, because you know what? Tearing people down gets in the algorithm. Tearing people down, disrespecting people, denigrating people, devaluing people. It makes people respond. You know how sick a society has to be in order to respond to that low frequency? That's just where we are, right? What did I say before? Dissing in hip hop, the Joneses, that's where it comes from, right? Jonesing. In hip hop, Jonesing is battle rap. The biggest event that happened in 24 is Kendrick Drake. We respond to two brothers battling. We do. Oh, shit, we own one. But dissing in hip hop, historically speaking, was before Kool Moe Dee made it personal, right? We used to battle routines. And it was more of, the skill set was more like, hey, your routine, your raps, your dance moves versus ours, and the audience will decide by a round of applause. And it was respectful competition. Then when Mo D came along and battled Busy B, he took it out of my rhyme, your routine, my routine, your rhyme. He took it out of that space and made it personal. Excuse me, Busy B, I don't mean to be bold, but put that bar diddy bar bullshit on hold. Like, he made it personal. He started talking about him. Busy B took your name from Starsky, and that was the first person. He put his rhyme. Busy B is famous for bar diddy bar. He put that on. He made it personal. Excuse me, Busy B, I don't mean to be bold, but put that bar diddy bar bullshit on hold. Like, you. But where is dissing really from? Pimps do it too. Pimps diss each other. Go get the 48 Laws of Pimpology by Pimp and Ken. Pimps check each other that way too. Right? So we have a history of putting each other down. I believe it's an extension of slavery. I believe it's an extension of the potentially fallacious Willie Lynch letter. Right? Because when you're all put into a box, right? When you're all put into a box, a psychological box, a slavery box, a societal box, when you're all put into a box, you can't compete with the masters that put you in the box. You've been conditioned to believe that. So what then starts to happen is you compete amongst each other. That's the whole crab in the barrel mentality. Right? Whole crabs in the barrel mentality. Willie Lynch, my thoughts exactly, Zo. So look at it. We got dissing in hip hop. Not to say we didn't have dissing in R&B. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We had some dissing in R&B. Yeah, we did. But we got dissing each other in hip hop. We got dissing each other in R&B. We got dissing each other in pimping. In the abject commodification of black women. A woman choosing a pimp, right? Because Pimpin' Ken said it. He was on my show years ago. He said it. He said, man, I'm not out here trying to convert women to being, hoes. He said, they got to choose the game. A woman choosing the game like that is the same as slaves choosing to stay on the plantation. They choose to stay on the plantation because that's all they know. And now fast forward, women are choosing to pimp themselves. I don't need a pimp. I could do this myself. Man, we live in a wild society, bro. Oh, yeah, I remember that little battle. I remember that battle. The Monica and Brandy. Like, it didn't even supposed to be a battle, but it turned into one. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, we battle each other because we know, us tearing each other down maybe has more of an effect, I guess. We know we can't, in our minds, we can't attack the white power structure because that's who feeds us. Right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And I'm saying all of this to say, man, I know many jokes are going to be made about Brother T.D. Jakes. I know there are some people he may have done wrong. Right? But that's how people talk. I mean, I've been hearing negative things about T.D. Jakes for over a decade now. I'm just trying to say maybe we should keep our thoughts to ourselves on this one. On all of them, really. Listen. I'll wait before I go even further into that. Let's go to the next story. The next story here is maybe something we should be focused on instead of this man's downfalls, right? This man's humanity. And he probably did something horrible. But what about this? A dozen black inmates reportedly self-immolated at Virginia Supermax prison to escape intolerable racism, abuse, and inhumane conditions. I would rather die before I stay up here, one inmate said. Now, if you don't understand immolated, it's setting yourself on fire. Years ago, I posted something about the Tibetan monks doing this in protest against the Chinese government who had taken over Tibet. And that as a show of protest, they would march through the cities and set themselves on fire. Apparently, 12 black inmates at Red Onion State Prison, Virginia's first super maximum security prison, have reportedly set themselves on fire since September in a bid to get transferred away from abusive guards, according to current inmates. The first reported incident concerned Demetrius Wallace, 27 years old, who told the Virginia Defender he set his leg on fire on August 23rd because he knew he would have to be transported out of the prison for treatment. Since guards waited 3 days before taking Wallace to the nearest burn unit several hours away, he had to have a skin graft and spend 14 days in the hospital. When he returned, he told the defender guards harassed him, denied him access to his email, and stuck him in a hole. Everything is still the same, Wallace said, adding that while he was seeking treatment, he witnessed 5 of his fellow inmates arrive with severe burns. Over the course of 2 weeks, Kevin Rashid Johnson told Prisoner Radio a dozen inmates had to set themselves on fire to escape intolerable racism and inhumane conditions. The irony is California, which is supposed to be a blue state and the most liberal of all states, passed a law that basically said slavery is legal here in the state if you are a prisoner. These are the same folk that Kamala used to help put out fires. So in the American Constitution, slavery is technically abolished unless you are a prisoner. If you are a prisoner, slavery is okay. I need y'all to understand that's what it means for at the federal level, and then here in California, also at the state level. You would think a state that is as blue as California, as liberal as California, would have chosen to vote that thing down. But many people that I spoke to said that the wording was so obscure, the way it was written, you couldn't really distinguish between the yes and the no. The no equaled a yes, and the yes equaled a no. It was inverted the way, and I've spoken with several people that say, me and the family sat down, we looked at it. So there's 2 things, right? 2 things, slavery, California. The irony of that is nuts. We basically voted to keep slavery for the inmates in California. That's nuts. The other piece is I'm reading this article and you hear them talk about the mistreatment that they're getting from the guards. I asked you guys to look at this. Yes, this is definitely the peonage system. Look up the word peonage. The root word of peonage is peon, which is also the root of the word champion. The people's champ is still but a peon to the system. Isn't that funny? The movie Gladiator came out, yeah, which is the champion, but still gets killed. Anyway, peonage is the system. But yes, the second thing that this reminded me of, and I talked about this last week a little bit, was you guys saw, I talked about this this documentary that's on Disney that talked about the Stanford experiment, where those students posed as guards, prison guards. You guys saw that, right? Prison guards and prisoners, and then slowly, after 6 days, turns into something that had to get shut down because a lot of abuse was happening. And then you have to remember, during the Iraqi war, those soldiers did the same thing to the Iraqi soldiers. You guys remember that? So you see these guards actually reenacting this, right? And the professor from Stanford, I forgot the guy's name. I'm always forgetting people's name. Zamboni or Zabroni or something like that. Let me see. He, yeah, there it is. Yeah. The new book, I want you to get his book. He's dead now. But I want you to get his book. It's called The Lucifer Effect. Philip Zimbardo. That's his name. Listen to this, though. I want you to get his book, The Lucifer Effect, Understanding How Good People Turn Evil. Oh, yeah. Based on stereotypes, I'm a guard. And just because I'm a guard and you're classified as an inmate, there's something in my head that pulls from the subconscious that talks about the elevation of a guard over a prisoner. Which means if you don't follow my rules, I get to be abusive. You see how this happening to those brothers who had to self-emulate? Lloyd Hinton said, Brother Zoe, I witnessed it firsthand in Iraq. The Lucifer Effect. Go get that book. Read it. Philip Zimbardo. Philip is now dead. He died. But I keep trying to tell y'all, everybody think that they somehow devoid of being a bad person. We all got a little of that Lucifer in us. And you see it in our greed. You see it in our selfishness. You see it in our manipulation of ourselves and of each other. You see it. And many people avoid looking at it, which is what Carl Jung said. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid looking at themselves. You've heard me say this before with Korzybski, right? The definition creates the condition. Alfred Korzybski, the definition creates the condition. So you define yourself as an AKA, and you have different narratives and beliefs about deltas. Right? You have different narratives and beliefs about deltas. Or maybe some of the even less famous, right? Sororities. And then there's a sense of superiority, right? There's a sense of self-aggrandizement. And then it extends even beyond the sororities, right? It extends to, well, we're the Divine Nine, or we were chosen from Jack and Jill. And this is why, and the reason why we're Jack and Jill is because of, we're upper middle class. Do you see how the definition creates the condition? How good people turn evil. Just based on a role assigned. Right? There's a hierarchy within the Divine Nine, which is the Mercedes-Benz organization of the Divine Nine, and which is the Hyundai. Let's not act like y'all haven't already figured that out, Divine Niners. Right? Right? Y'all tell me. Right? Just by ascribing to a role, a definition. Alfred Korzybski, famous linguist, what did he say? The definition creates the condition. You've heard me say this before. I said, if you identify with something, you have to defend it. You can't possibly understand Hinduism if you identify as a Christian. You can't possibly see that Jesus and Christ are basically the same. Excuse me. Jesus, Christ, and Krishna, are basically the same thing. You can't see it. You can't see that Buddha and Christ are basically the same thing. You can't see it. Buddha got 12 disciples. Buddha was born out of his mama's side miraculously. You can't see it. It doesn't even matter that Buddha is 500 years before Christ. Doesn't even matter. Christ, Buddha, Krishna all have similar narratives. Disciples, all of it. Doesn't even matter. When you identify with something, you got to defend it. The Lucifer effect breaks that down. These were good people, according to Philip Zimbardo. These are good people. College students. Just given a role. Just given a role. Your role is prison guard. Man, Black_Freeman. Thank you, man. I hadn't even gotten to the point of asking. I was about to ask everybody to go to my Cash App, hit my Cash App up, but Black_Freeman. Can everybody in here thank that brother? Hit it. You know you can hit the like button to show your appreciation for him. Everybody hit that like button right now. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Black_Freeman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But, yeah, you identify with something, you got to defend it. If you identify with feminism, no disrespect to feminists, but if you identify with feminism, you have to defend it. And what does that mean? You're going to see everything through the lens of feminism. So you're going to see everything as the oppression of the evil patriarchy. And I'm not saying that there aren't aspects of this patriarchal society that negatively impacts women and has negatively impacted women for centuries, millennia. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is when you identify with something, you've got to defend it. If you identify with Islam, how you doing, Vanetta? Come on in and sit down. Vanetta Colbert is in the building. You know, whenever she come to LA, she got to show up. Vanetta Colbert sitting in here live. I see her. But again, you have to defend it. And this whole, listen, it's on Disney Plus, right? What's the name of the documentary? The name of this documentary on Disney Plus, what is it called?
The Stanford Prison?
The Stanford Prison Experiment. In my last psychology class, maybe 6 months ago now, we studied that. We studied that. We went very deep into it. 1971. It's crazy. Soon as you identify with something, you identify as a Jehovah's Witness. You don't even know that the Jehovah's Witnesses was started by Masons. You don't know. You don't know Charles Hayes Rutherford, Charles Taz. All these guys got 32, 33-degree pyramids on their grave. You don't know why the Kingdom Hall don't have no damn windows. You don't understand that it's masonry. You don't understand that the Mormons, Joseph Smith was a Mason. You don't know what any of this is, but you identify with a concept somebody put together for you. And when you identify with it, you got to defend it. Well, you know what? I'm a damn Democrat. Oh, really? Does this make sense? Are y'all like really peeping what's being said? I studied with the Jehovah's. Man, listen, man. Come on, man. You know the Jehovah's Witness had to revise Jesus coming back. He was supposed to be back in, what, 1914, 1912, 1914. They had to keep revising him coming back. And then finally in the damn 70s, you know what they said? You know what? He's come back essentially, spiritually, he's come back. You know why? Because you couldn't prove that he was back. But you kept making predictions that he was going to come back. This is Jehovah's Witnesses. You done put the people who believe in the belief system, you done put them behind the 8 ball. The spiritual governing body. Kept saying he's supposed to come back, never come back. Kept saying he's supposed to come back, never come back. Got to revise the comeback. That lets you know you don't know what, you not tapped in. Then in the 70s, they just finally said, you know what? He came back spiritually. You know why? You know why you go with that statement? Because can nobody prove or disprove that? According to our spiritual masters and leadership here, Christ has come back spiritually. Well, how you know? Because he told us. You heard it? Now just remember now. Remember, there was a time when you said shit like that, you get sent to the nut house. Wait, you talked to God? And God talked back to you? There was a time you get sent to the nut house for that. Dwight Johnson. Man, thank you, brother. Thank you. Man, you guys, please continue. Continue to hit the like button, hit the share button, super chat. You can send it directly to my Cash App if you want. Please support the best way you now know how. Support your brother Zoe Williams. Go to my Cash App, $ZoWhat Netter. I'm telling you, we've been programmed to be contentious towards each other. And we're living in that time right now where everything is drama, everything is beef, everything is a battle. Why? Because we have identified ourselves with something. And the sad thing is, by doing that as one people, unity is going to be very difficult to achieve, to attain. It's going to be impossible, right? I'm from the west side of a side. I'm from the east side of another side. I'm from the northeast side. And we're starting to see that in this Kendrick beef. East Coast, and Kendrick has picked it up. East Coast cats don't really check for Kendrick. He has forced them to check for him because of his abject success and impact. He has forced the other side to like him. And you start to see the Willie Lynch of it all oozing out. Oh, I don't like the fact that he changes his voice. I don't like the voice manipulation and all of this and that and blah, blah, blah. Biggie did it. Biggie did it, where he rhymed with himself. He got that from, many people say he got that from Slick Rick, when Slick Rick did it. Switch sides, come all the way back to the West Coast, King T did it. So I don't like the voice manipulation. So then you get the man versus woman piece, the gender piece. Nicki steps out and goes, man, y'all dogged me for all the voice manipulations that I was doing, but Kendrick comes out and does it too. So then it becomes a gender battle. Why y'all accept the brother doing it, but you didn't accept me doing it? Well, first off, you were accepted in much the same way that Kendrick is being accepted, Nicki. You're a superstar, for Christ's sake. See, when you are talented, a superstar talent, it don't matter what the haters say. You're still going to transcend all of that. And you got to remember, you got to take the hate as you ascend anyway. Nobody ascends and gets no hate. So you are already successful. You're top 3 female lyricists in my book. So why you take this moment to come out to create the distinction, the gender distinction between you and Kendrick? Because we're designed to beef with each other. Everybody coming out with little slick things to say. The brother has struck a chord. I know for sure there are East Coast guys out there that just don't understand West Coast. Me and my homeboy was talking about it yesterday, my homeboy Chase. And he was breaking down something quite interesting. He said, what you're not going to do is say LA is some bitches. That's what you're not going to do. You know why? Let me tell you what happened. He broke down something that I remember this. In 1989, Farrakhan came here and he was trying to bring peace and unity. And he finally said, you know what? I'm never coming back to LA. Now, he came back since, but during that time, he was like, I'm never coming back to LA, because he understood we about that work, and it ain't positive. It's very negative. We're about that work. In other words, if you come here and you on some goofy sideways shit, something might happen because of the culture here, right? He was saying that East Coast culture, you guys are rooted in culture. There was always somebody, where it was Clarence 13X, Malcolm X, MLK. There was always somebody there that could pull the streets back. Like, no. Hold on. No. We're not doing that. Even Africa Bambaataa was a part of a gang, then that later he turned into the Zulu Nation. So there was always a cultural piece that would come back and say, we black, we black, we black. When I met Kool Moe Dee in 97, we had this conversation too. He was like, on the East Coast, we talk a lot of shit. And he says we're conditioned to talk shit because that's just how we are. He was like, I noticed on the West Coast, a lot of shit talking is not tolerated. Now, I got called thin-skinned and weak and soft by Aries Spears. He even went as far as to say, you know, I'm from New York and blah, blah, blah. We be on that shit. And he got his fallopian tubes touched, and I touched him. No, we just from a different culture. And the reality is we don't take no shit. Like, if you on some weirdo shit, you not from here, we don't know you, something can happen to you. And we navigate like that. We navigate that way. We understand, like, it's not about talking. It's about action. That's what putting in that work actually means out here. When they say, oh, you putting in work, he's actually in the streets doing shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, again, you can't say, and I can flip it either way. You can't say, like, oh, West Coast niggas are emotional. Okay, say that. We'll take that. West Coast niggas are emotional. They pop off. All right. Or you could say West Coast niggas don't take no shit from goofy niggas who want to play. Or you could say East Coast niggas play too much. East Coast niggas used to playing with each other. West Coast niggas are not used to that. If it's something that's going to happen, it's finna go down. If we in the basketball, if we in the gym and we hooping and one nigga get fouled too hard and he turn off the lights, we all understand. Let's leave. Let's leave. The gym is shut down. He turned off the lights. Because the next thing that happens, do you understand? I'm not saying it's a good thing. What I'm saying is these are the ideological constructs that keeps us separated. Right? Everybody got something negative to say about Kendrick. And like he said in the rhyme, in the whacked out murals, these backhanded, underhanded compliments. You don't really support or celebrate the dude's ascension. You're really hating because you think it's supposed to be you. You think you're supposed to be that guy. That's Willie Lynch. That's Willie Lynch. And we're all still suffering from it. The Willie Lynch syndrome. Programmed to see each other as the enemy. Programmed to be unity resistant. Programmed to compete and condescend towards each other. That's what you're seeing. So Kendrick makes a statement about Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne takes offense. Don't wake the sleeping dragon. It's going to be about destruction. It's going to be this. Is, you know, just leave. What did I do? Leave me out of it. And I'm paraphrasing all of this. Kendrick's rhyme was basically saying, why can't you just be happy for my hard work? He said, look like all my hard work let Lil Wayne down. He's basically saying Lil Wayne was one of his MC heroes. The only person that thanked him was Nas, or congratulated him was Nas. I'm just saying, man, we got to listen. All them people, white people, men and women, voted for Trump. Despite who Trump is, 34-time convicted felon. I'm going to be president again. And the moxie on him is, fuck y'all, I'm going to be president again. What y'all going to do about it? I'm going to be back in the White House. I'm going to pardon myself. They already setting it up right now. Well, you know, he's the president of the United States, president-elect. We cannot go after him because it'll throw the country into chaos. And he's going to be, mediating two different wars that are happening right now. No. Let's postpone the sentencing until 2029. You think he's not finna pardon himself? I would. I would pardon myself. I would be like, I'm in trouble, and you gonna push it to 29? And I have from now until then, pardon myself. Get me up out of here. I would use this system. The point I'm trying to make is, who's the Donald Trump in our community? It seems like anybody that's successful becomes the Donald Trump. We get to attack them. And I'm starting to be concerned for Kendrick, because Kendrick is a good brother. And Kendrick is trying to do right by the community. But when you start to raise in this system, trust me, they looking for some way to tear you down. The very system that raises you up is looking for a way to tear you down. I promise you. Ask Michael Jackson, ask Mike Tyson, ask anybody that has ever experienced that kind of ascension. Especially if you really trying to help somebody. Now, if you're not trying to help somebody, your fuck shit is going to get the system to turn on you. Right? But if they ain't got nothing, they didn't have nothing on Malcolm. Ask Minister Louis Farrakhan. They said that was one of the cleanest brothers. He's clean. When he came out of prison, clean. He's when you hear them talk, when I say them, I'm talking about members of the Nation of Islam who knew Brother Malcolm. They said intelligence, presence, integrity. They was like spiritually cleanly is what Malcolm was. So, do you know what kind of inspiration that'll bring? Doesn't mean Malcolm was perfect. Doesn't mean Malcolm didn't have any flaws. Don't take that. But guess what? I had to take that out. I'm not saying Kendrick is perfect. What I'm saying is Kendrick is starting to inspire people in a way, and using this massive blow up that he's getting. Look, he brought that pop out down here in Inglewood, brought over 100 sets of rival gangs on stage, and there was no beef. We don't know who shot Tupac, do we? Have we figured that out? Tupac's a Gemini too, but Tupac was more conflicted than Kendrick, meaning once Tupac got bailed out, this is what my homeboy Chase told me, once he got bailed out and he get on the West Coast side, all the Black Panther, all the pro-black, he now over here on the MOB side, on that Pyru side. Once he get over here, he gets overtaken with the spirit of LA, which is conflictual. Don't get it twisted. Doesn't mean Tupac didn't have an ideation to say, I want to do better. I'm going to change this. I'm going to raise this up. But LA got a whole different energy over here. We got the energy of smoke. If you want, no, it's not even smoke, it's fire. Everybody else, I'm giving you these smoke signals. You see what I'm doing? LA is fire. We're going to come with it every single goddamn time. Is that a good thing? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Can you contextualize that as we're emotionally sensitive, or we weak, or no, we just about action. This is warrior energy. Oh, you niggas is bringing war? Let's get active. That's what's happening here. So if you get a young kid who was raised in the Nickerson Gardens, from Compton, from Pyru, like what the and you say, hey man, do this on wax. do this on wax. He having fun rapping. This is smoke on wax. This is what he wants, and nobody really gets hurt. That's why people listen, man. Listen, everybody got something to say that ain't from here. That's why I love that Dodger Blue record. Me and my daughter talked about it. I coined a phrase months ago, and she was on the floor rolling. I said, it's always the city bastard. You not from here. You're a bastard to this place. You're not from here. You wasn't raised here. You didn't go to elementary, junior high, high school, college. You not from here. But you get here and you got you're a city bastard. And then when the record drops, my daughter texts me. She said, oh, he's rapping about the city bastards. Go to Dodger Blue. I go to Dodger Blue. And I'm like, oh. She said, Dad, he's talking about city bastards. Yeah, you niggas is nomads. You from somewhere else, and you come here, and you got all of these definitions about what it is to be L.A., and you have no clue. Your definition about L.A. is really Hollywood. And even you don't understand Hollywood. Hollywood is a very dirty, small little town in L.A. County. It's small. It's dusty. Most people, it smells. Homeless people up there. Most people who are from here, we don't go hanging out on Hollywood Boulevard. The fuck? Y'all do. Let me go see the stars on the street. We don't. It's boo-boo on the streets with the stars. We don't care. Like, you get people from other places. Let's go to the beach. What? Okay, cool. We don't go to the beach. We literally don't unless we live right down the street. Ain't nobody traversing to the beach unless you live down the street. I live literally down the street from the beach. But it's not like a tourist thing for us. It's not like, oh, let's go down there and see the people. Don't nobody care. You guys come here and want to see shit. We don't give a. Is that Denzel? That's Denzel. We've seen them a lot. We see the stars everywhere. They be everywhere. We see them. And we leave them the fuck alone. Y'all don't want to be asking for autographs and want to take it. It's not us. And we're from, if you go to different spaces, you get different types of black folk. The Inland Empire nigga is different than the Compton nigga. And sometimes the Compton nigga got to move to the Inland Empire to get out of trouble, to stay out of trouble. That's what happened with a lot of PDLs. What's PDL? Pasadena Devil Lane or Pasadena Denver Lane. The Blood Gang in Pasadena. When they started to gentrify the city, many of the black families who had been living there for generations had to go Palmdale, Lancaster, Victorville, had to move east. Pasadena used to be 47% black. Tamala Jones, actress, Pasadena. Gillian Waters, wife of Michael Jai White, Pasadena. Stacey Augman, Pasadena. Inger Miller, Pasadena. Octavia Butler, Pasadena. Even Jesse Owens went to motherfucking PCC, Pasadena City College. Like, it used to be a black place. Different kind of nigga come out of Pasadena. You get Troop from Pasadena. You get Michael Cooper from Pasadena. You even get white boy John B. from Pasadena. Different kind of environment. And Pasadena, if you talk to people from LA, even with the internet, even with all the people from LA be like, nigga, Pasadena far, nigga. Pasadena is literally 15 minutes. If you at the top of Altadena, which is at the foot of the mountain, on a clear day, you see downtown LA, you see the water, you see all the way to the ocean. But the normal mindset of a Los Angelino and a Pasadenian, and Pasadena, all of this is LA County, all of this is that. 15 minutes away. 15 minutes away from downtown Los Angeles is Pasadena. But with traffic, oh, that's 45 minutes. So in the mind of the average Angelino, that's like, oh, shit. Pasadena far than the mud. And yes, it's a different kind of nigga up there. Right? And all of these rules that I'm laying down right now can be applied to wherever city you from. Y'all know what out-of-towners look like. Y'all know how they talk. Y'all know how they sound. Y'all know how they move. But the reality of it is we got to change all of that out-of-towner mentality, and we got to start looking at each other. You know, somebody say, you from Pasadena. Did you know Craig before Corey? Mark Savoy. Craig is younger than me. Craig from a different generation. So you know how we lined up generationally. You might not know 3 generations in front of you, and you might not know 2 to 3 generations behind you. That's how we lined up. So to answer your question, I did meet Craig through Corey, but I didn't know him from the city. Homeboy said facts. NYC the same way. Exactly. But look, that you see the skyline right there. That's Pasadena City Hall. There go Los Angeles in the goddamn. There go the skyline right there from Pasadena. Close than a motherfucker. But if you from LA, you be like, shit, Pasadena far than the mud. I ain't going out to Pasadena. Is you crazy? But again, that's a black city with a rich black history that has been slowly eroded due to gentrification. Pasadena, one of the most wealthy cities in Southern California. I mean, old money, Pasadena. And they done got most of the blackness up out of it. When I say it was black, it was beautiful. Lark Voorhees from Saved by the Bell, Pasadena. Just got him up out of there. Freeze Love, Pasadena. Come on, man. Jackie Long, John Muir High, Pasadena. And right down the way in South Pasadena, you get Shanice, the singer. It's a beautiful town, man, beautiful place. But the point that I'm making is because we're so regional in our thought, it's hard for us to work together. All I know is them white people, male and female, lined up behind a so-called tyrant. And what we doing is disrespecting each other. Am I lying? Listen, be honest. Is everybody happy for Kendrick's blow up? People wasn't happy when he was. Listen, you had people on the radio, not on the radio, but on the podcast. Just, well, I think the battle is close. It wasn't close at all. Kendrick was dusting that boy off. But because we have allegiance to something or some side, we got to defend it, right? At the end of the day, Kendrick brought up some very clear points. We got to stop letting everybody who can do what we created into the damn barbecue. Black people created hip hop. I don't have to tell you the history. Black people created all forms of music. We don't have to tell you the history, but you know what black people do when we see white people or anybody else that's able to do some shit we created, we be like, you know what, that's awesome. Come on to the barbecue. They're not always welcome at the barbecue. And let's just be honest. Do we not have brothers and sisters that might be considered biracial that are racially confused? Not because, listen to what I'm about to say. They're confused socially because of the abstract definition. Is the one drop rule in place? You know, one drop makes you black. That causes them to be confused, especially if they high yellow, right? Let's be honest. Let's have that conversation. Drake daddy black than a motherfucker. That nigga. And from my generation, we go, you say that nigga daddy? Drake, that's a nigga. Drake is a nigga. Right? But if Drake is saying things that would be deemed inconsiderate to our struggle, like you rapping, like you trying to free the slaves. Hey. So then we'll come back and say, wait a minute, hold on. You from Canada. We got to take the blackness back. You said some inappropriate shit about blackness, nigga. That means you don't really understand what you are. Hold on. And then double down on it. You rapping like you trying to free this. Do you know that there are still women in our community that like you because you light skin? Because they suffer from self-hate? See, if we're going to have a real conversation, let's have a real conversation. Right? This is who think you are an attractive man because you're light skinned. You know, self-hate can make the opposite of what you hate look attractive. I'm dark skinned and I don't like my dark skin. I think I'm too black. I'm always perpetually ashy. They'll have all these motherfucking negative ideas about blackness, and it makes light-skinnedness somehow beautiful. Not every person that's light-skinned is beautiful. I've seen some of the ugliest people in the world that are light-skinned. And I've seen, in the opposite, I've seen some of the most beautiful women in the world that are dark-skinned. But if you got self-hate in you, can we be honest about this? So Kendrick basically attacked that. Kendrick was like, nah, you don't get to come in here and culturally appropriate our shit. He said, man, I'm what the culture feeling. You don't get to come in here and tell us how to do this, and you're a fan of it? Man, I got into a heated argument at the lounge, and one of my good friends was mad at me for about 72 hours. Because I kept telling him, like, you only have the opinion of a consumer. You don't have the opinion of a creator of hip hop. So you don't really know what you're talking about. You know what you feel and you know what you like. But you don't really know. And then I gave him the example. I said, you are the rings of Saturn. You're orbiting the planet of hip hop, but you're not on the ground. You're not on the surface. You're not on the surface of the planet, my friend. He was really annoyed. He was really pissed off about this. But the point that I'm trying to make is we get people that are orbiting hip-hop that then come in and try to be a tastemaker. And it's like, really, you're doing what you mimicked. You're not doing what you created. When we look at this kid, Kendrick, one of the most creative MCs in the game. One of the craziest lyricists in the game. Period. And I'm talking, when I say in the gang, I'm talking about all time. One of the greatest lyricists in hip hop all time. This is an all-time great. He said some very powerful things that resonated. You make music to pacify him. Yeah, that's what he does. No disrespect to him. I have great respect for Drake because I know where he comes from. To me, he comes from the lineage of LL. What you mean? They don't sound alike. No, they don't. But him and LL, they come from the same. Well, LL created it, basically. LL started rapping to women. And I Need Love ain't his first love record. You got to go back to that first album, the radio album. He had 2 love songs on that album. I Want You and I Can Give You More. That's 86. And by the time we get to, I think it's 87, I think it's 87, by the time we get to Bad, that's when you get when I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall. Dear Yvette was a diss record to women. He was like, you stinking. You stinking because you giving up that monkey to everybody. That was Dear Yvette on the first album. Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette. Dear Yvette. That's LL. And when I hear Drake, I said this years ago, I said Drake reminds me of LL. He has understood what LL understood. LL was like, once you are right on, LL. Yeah, once LL's record, I Need Love, takes off, man, when you get a hit record, don't you know you got to keep doing it? So L understood, I got to keep singing to the ladies. I got to keep rapping to the ladies. But L, like Drake, will definitely battle. And Drake would battle. The only thing that's different between L and Drake, L's not going to have any writers. L is writing his own lyrics. L writes his own lyrics. You're not going to hear any rumors that L's diss record was written by somebody else. You're not going to hear that. But I'm speaking stylistically. But L had the powerful voice like Run, but had the lyrical prowess of Kool Moe Dee. And I'm going to call L out on this. I think L needs to give Moe Dee more flowers. Yes, I know that's your rival and your contemporary, but I think you should give him more flowers based off of what he told me you told him. He said when you were a kid, and yes, he missed an opportunity to mentor you, and you should forgive him for that. He missed the opportunity to mentor you. He was young, just like you were young. I think L was like 15, 16, something like that. L goes to Mo. Mo is in college. Mo's still a young man, but he's much older than L. He basically shuns L. And that's what started the beef between them. I'm only 18 making more than your pops. But yeah, you should give Mo more credit because You told Mo, people say I sound like Run, people say I sound like Run, and I might sound like him, but my lyrical stuff comes from you. Now, when I hear you in interviews, L is talking about Cold Crush and all these other people, but let's be honest, bro. Let's be honest. Mo influenced you like he influenced everybody in New York back then because Mo is the father of lyricism. And you consider yourself lyrically astute. When we first heard you, what we heard first in our minds, and this is all the way over here on the West Coast, what we heard first in our minds was Tila Rock. It's Yours, Tila Rock. I Need a Beat and It's Yours is the same record, just inverted. Tila Rock is rhyming about a record. It's Yours. You rhyming about building a beat. It's the same record, bro. But that's what we heard on the West Coast when we heard Tila Rock. Because when we finally hear you, you remind us of Tila Rock. And Tila Rock is the brother of Kool Moe Dee's group bandmate, Special K. Tila Rock is Special K's little brother. Special K writes, I think It's Yours for Tila Rock. And who was doing all the writing in the Treacherous Three? Or most of the writing, all the routines and all that stuff. Most of the writing was done by Moe Dee. So you see the lineage that comes through. I'm just saying, man, we got to start celebrating these guys more. We got to stop hating. Like, I don't hate on L. I think LL is one of the greatest MCs to ever grab a mic. I think LL is one of the Mount Rushmore type MC. You cannot, you know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot not acknowledge LL Cool J. You just simply cannot. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, TJ Swan. I can hear Kaz's influence more so than Moe Dee. That's because you don't know hip hop. Kaz gives birth. So you got 3 MCs, bro. You got 3 MCs that create 3 different lineages. You got Melly Mel, Moe Dee, Kaz. When you deal with these 3, Melly Mel is bombastic storytelling. You get KRS-One, Chuck D, Biggie. They all come from this Melly Mel lineage, right? Moe Dee is fast rhyming. He's the first to fast rhyme. And he's the first to incorporate high-level vocabulary. So your lyricists, Tila Rocks, LLs, Rakims, Nas, all of these guys come from the Moe Dee lineage, the lyricism lineage. Then you got the slick, funny, lyrical, clowning, you know, I'm going to make, even if I stutter, I'm going to still come off. Those kind of MCs come from Kaz, the Big Daddy Kanes, the Jay-Z's, the guys that got the quips and the funny and the joke and the lyrics. That's Kaz. Those are your 3 lineages of MCs. That's your original big 3. Seeing that they talking about Drake, Cole, and Kendrick. That's your original big 3. Moe Dee, Kaz, and Melly Mel. And Melly Mel was the first to rhyme in the traditional sense of how we rhyme right now. Melly Mel was the first. So when I tell you this young kid is doing something historical, this young kid is doing something incredible, we should all get behind him. We should not let our slave past dictate how we criticize him just because he from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn West Coast. This is a West Coast album. If you from the West Coast, you going to love this. Listen, when Nelly came out, everybody loved that. It's going down, down, baby. Everybody loved that shit. It might have been regional. Listen, It blew up everywhere. Outkast come out, that elevator shit, everybody like, yo, whoa. Yo, we with that. We're with that, man. But don't come with that goofy shit where you hating on him because you really never liked him in the first place. Don't come with that. Support this man. This man is absolutely one of the most creative MCs we have ever seen. And he's one of ours. When I say one of ours, I'm talking about black people all over the country, not just LA. Like, we got to stop thinking so tribal, man. Oh, that Players Ball. That Outkast was crazy. Come on, man. Nah, Mo D don't get enough credit. But it is what it is. Black people, we got to start giving our own credit. I ain't never seen people so down and out and pissed off because the system didn't choose what they wanted. First off, we got to stop falling for the gaslight. We get gaslight on political candidates, gaslit on political candidates. We get gaslit on promises. We get gaslit on everything. And then when the system lets us down, we think it's the end of the world. Nah, when the system lets you down, don't think it's the end of the world. Think it's the beginning of you, the beginning of us, the beginning of working together, the beginning of supporting each other. We should push Kendrick Lamar over the top. Damn what anybody else has to say. I love LL, but Mo D got him with Let's Go. That's true, Jeff. That's 100% true. And I'm from the generation where we pro L. L was closer to us in age than Mo was, and Mo sounded too adult. He sounded too old when he first came out to us. Now, we didn't know when he first came out to us, that was his second time around, his first time around as a soloist. When Mo came out with not Let's Go, but when he came out with How You Like Me Now and all those records, that was his first time as a damn soloist. We didn't know he had a whole nother career as a Treacherous 3 and all that. We didn't know that. So when he came out dissing LL, we thought this old man is bullying LL and we don't like it. And when I was younger, of course, I'm biased to LL because LL's sound matches me at my age, But as I got older and I started listening and I started to realize, oh, Mo destroyed L. And I knew Mo destroyed L back then when he dropped Let's Go. I said, oh, man, this old dude is picking on this young guy. That's how I felt about it. Because that lower level, lousy, laborious, what the fuck? Don't do that. This man is 18, 19 years old. Stop it. When are we going to start jonesing on white folk? And I mean like collectively. Let's just jones on their ass. Like really go in. Like when are we going to have the y'all stink jonesing session? Y'all smell like dog. Or it's easy for us to say, we broke though. We'll call each other broke. Right? We'll say we ain't shit to each other. But when are we going to have the collective roast session of white folk? When are we going to say, here's the collective roast session. You guys are the biggest thieves ever. You stole everything. You stole medicine. You stole philosophy. You stole science. You stole religion. You stole God. Why you keep stealing? You guys are the greatest kleptomaniacs of all humanity. The greatest kleptomaniacs. You guys steal everything. And you sell it back to the people you stole it from. So you're the best thieves and salesmen at the same time? I got that philosophy for you. I got that spirituality. I got it right now. Wait a minute, this is from the house. How did you get my grandmama's grimoire? I'll sell it back to you, half price. Half price is priceless, nigga. How did you get it? Hey, Lloyd, thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. When are we going to have that collective bashing of them? If you look at the music industry right now, one of the greatest institutionalized pimps in America, right? One of the greatest institutionalized pimps in America is the music industry. The music industry been robbing black people forever. You remember Michael Jackson was buying black artists' music. He was buying their publishing and giving them their publishing back. Remember that, right? White folk, they running scared. They're firing people. They letting people go from the labels. You know why? Because the model is no longer working. I knew the model was going to stop working. Once I was there, it's 94. They're like, man, the internet and Napster and okay. Y'all better find a way to incorporate Napster. No, but you know what they did? They wanted to sell the black artists and artists, period. The public is robbing you because they're getting your records for free. No, they're robbing you because you make the lion's share off our records. Back then, an artist could live well on tour. I mean, well, like, ba, ba, ba. Nowadays, you got to split some of that money if you got a 360 deal. The label is like, I want a piece of that if you don't have an indie label. Now they're giving out 360 deals because their physical infrastructure of CDs and jewel cases and shipment and all that, delivery, all that got killed by the Spotifys, the DSPs, the Apple Music, all that got killed. So the physical stuff is gone now. They moved too slow. They villainized the new technology through the term piracy, villainized it, made the artist think that the fan was robbing them, not knowing if you give the fan, Kendrick just gave his album away, basically. He dropped it out. He dropped it. The other day, he dropped, it's already at damn near 200 million streams. He drops it for free on YouTube. Everybody is there like, Kendrick. He's up. I was telling them back then, you guys should have your own catalogs for the records that you have put out and make them free. Why? Because if a fan gets your music for free, they're going to support everything you do. TV, they're going to radio, whatever it is you're doing, concerts, they're going to support every fucking thing. Everything. And they're going to buy the shit a couple of times. They're going to buy everything you got a couple of times because they're going to feel that you gave them something. Record industry moved too slow. To them, that's the only content they had. The only physical content they had was your music that they owned the masters for because they bought them from you with a loan. We got a video to show, right? I'm going to stay on this as long as I can. It's 500 people in here right now. If all 500 people dropped $5 on my Cash App, you guys would change my day. Can you go to my Cash App right now? Moderators, put my Cash App in there. $ZoWhat Netter. $ZoWhat Netter. Support. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the share button. And if everybody can follow what I'm asking, go to my Cash App right now. What video is that before we get into it?
That's mass psychosis.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, 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 yes. Go to my Cash App, $ZoWhatNetter. And don't forget, I have a limited supply of He Is Risen. A limited supply of He Is Risen. If you want it, now's the time to get it. I'm going to the post office tomorrow. Get at me. Get at me. Go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. I want you guys to look at something. And based on what I shared with you guys today, tell me if this is lining up with your reality. Let's go.
Laban. The masses have never thirsted after truth. They turn aside from evidence that is not to their taste, preferring to deify error, if error seduce them. Whoever can supply them with illusions is easily their master. Whoever attempts to destroy their illusions is always their victim. This sobering observation sets the stage for our exploration of how entire societies can descend into madness. You probably think that, surely, the greatest threats to civilization are natural disasters, diseases, or external conflicts. But what if I told you that, according to the famous psychologist Carl Jung, the greatest danger lies with You might be tempted to dismiss this as mere fiction, but history provides us with all too real examples. Consider the witch hunts that swept through America and Europe in the 16th and 17th centuries. During this period, thousands of individuals, mostly women, were killed, not for any crimes they actually committed, but because they became scapegoats in societies gripped by collective madness. Frances Hill, in her book, A Delusion of Satan, writes that in some Swiss villages, there were scarcely any women left alive after the frenzy had finally burned itself out. Or think about the rise of totalitarianism in the 20th century. Millions of people embraced ideologies that, in hindsight, seem obviously destructive and delusional. Yet, at the time, entire nations fell under their spell. The results of a mass psychosis are nothing short of devastating. Jung studied this phenomenon extensively and observed that when a society succumbs to madness, its members become morally and spiritually inferior. They sink unconsciously to an inferior intellectual level, becoming more unreasonable, irresponsible, emotional, erratic, and unreliable. But perhaps most terrifying of all, Jung noted that crimes the individual alone could never stand are freely committed by the group. This explains how ordinarily moral people can by error, if error seduce them. Whoever can supply them with illusions is easily their master. Whoever attempts to destroy their illusions is always their victim. This sobering observation sets the stage for our exploration of how entire societies can descend into madness. You probably think that, surely, the greatest threats to civilization are natural disasters, diseases, or external conflicts. But what if I told you that, according to the famous psychologist Carl Jung, the greatest danger lies within our own minds? Jung argued that our inability to deal with the forces of our own psyche poses the most significant threat to our civilization. It's as if we're our own worst enemies, or as the Latin proverb puts it, man is wolf to man. Jung considered this a sad, yet eternal truism. But when does this wolf-like nature come to the forefront? Jung observed that it's most prominent during those dark periods of history, when mental illness becomes the norm rather than the exception in a society. He termed this disturbing phenomenon a psychic epidemic. In his work, The Symbolic Life, Jung writes, "Indeed, it is becoming ever more obvious that it is not famine, not earthquakes, not microbes, not cancer, but man himself who is man's greatest danger to man, for the simple reason that there is no adequate protection against psychic epidemics, which are infinitely more devastating than the worst of natural catastrophes." It's a chilling thought, isn't it? So, what exactly is a mass psychosis? Simply put, it's an epidemic of madness. It occurs when a large portion of society loses touch with reality and descends into delusions. Now, you might be tempted to dismiss this as mere fiction, but history provides us with all too real examples. Consider the witch hunts that swept through America and Europe in the 16th and 17th centuries. During this period, thousands of individuals, mostly women, were killed, not for any crimes they actually...
So I think it's important that I play these kind of clips because we be thinking like we're in control of our own little lives. None of your thoughts are original. Your thoughts of hating your brother or disrespecting your sister has been programmed into you. You've been conditioned to do that. Listen, you can't have a government unless I can control your mind. That means you're governed, right? So a politician will tell you it's called by the government is operated by the consent of the governed. That means you have to acquiesce. But why would you acquiesce? Well, programming causes you to acquiesce without a fight. That's why I had to play that. Psychology is their witchcraft. Do you understand? The concept of wealthy and poor are constructs that they created and that they maintain and that they program you to feel or they program you to compare yourself against, right? You ain't shit unless you rise to a particular level within this society. But they control who rises and who falls. Do you see how that could keep us separate? Do you see how you can have people on the East Coast low-key hating? It's cool. The Kendrick shit is cool. It's mid. Yeah, niggas literally saying it's mid, it's high, I mean, if you like the West Coast shit, it's cool. Listen, we all black and we all we got in this motherfucker. So when one of us blow up, we should all support, right? But you wasn't taught that. You were taught that your brother is your enemy. You were taught that your sister ain't shit. Did Willie Lynch teach us? The hating is crazy. If I can keep them hating on each other, they'll never recognize that their true power is in unity. They'll never recognize that. And as long as they don't know that they are their best answer for any problem they encounter, didn't white folks show us that? White folks say, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. Woke. Blue state, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about. We voting for an orange-haired, orange-skinned, orange elderly, orange man. Don't give a fuck. Old white folk voted. Young white folk voted. Middle-aged white folk voted. And you know what black people did? Blamed each other. You see that picture of the sisters watching everything burn? It's a painting of the sisters watching everything burn. And one of the sisters at the end, it's a painting. She got a T-shirt on that says 92%. How come it don't say minus 8%? Or how come it don't say minus 6%? See, you go after the brothers, right? You'll go after the brothers, right? Brothers voted 88% this time around, something like that, or a little less. 88%, I think. Something like that. In the 80s. Basically 11, 12% 13% of brothers voted for Trump, right? We see videos, ex-presidents, everybody. We see videos, folk going after brothers. Brothers and sisters still 1 and 2. There it is. Brothers and sisters still 1 and 2. But in the last 4 years, in the last 4-year cycle, sisters was at 98%, I believe. When Kamala and Biden won in 20. We did it, Joe. We did it. Remember that? Sisters was at 98%. Where are these 92 percenters? That's what I'm going to call them, 92 percenters. Where are these 92 percenters at when it comes to calling out the 6% they lost? The 6% of sisters. They'll call out whatever percentile it was of brothers. That's because you've been programmed to see him as the enemy. And he's been programmed to see you as the enemy. And y'all been programmed to believe in a system that leaves you sitting on the edge of a building watching it burn. Ain't that what Martin said? I feel I'm integrating my people into a burning system. Now, into a burning house. Now, he said this when he was alive. MLK was killed in 68. That's a long goddamn time ago. That's over 50 years ago. That's a long time ago. So would you say if King saw the shit as burning, a burning house before 68, before he was killed, what condition is that house in now? It's 2024. King said this before he was killed. Okay. He said this before he was killed, right? Malcolm said something well over 40, 50 years ago. The most disrespected person on the planet Earth is the black woman. Is that true now? You got quote hunters, quote parrots. Because he said it, I'm going to say it, and because it's supposed to be deep. It's not the same situation now. Does that mean sisters are not still disrespected? Sisters are not still harmed? Sisters are not still in danger, so to speak? No, it doesn't mean that. But what it means is times have changed, and the sisters and the conditions that he was talking about 45, 50 years ago, sisters of today no longer face. So you get somebody to want to be perceived as deep or smart, intelligent, or has a contextual understanding of what women are going through today, will say, Malcolm said the sister is the most disrespected person on planet. He said that 45, 50 years ago. It's not the same situation. You just trying to sound deep by quoting a deep brother. When are we going to change our condition, folk? I'm telling you right now, nothing in society can roll the way it's rolling unless they want it to roll that way. You were born into an institution. That means you're institutionalized by your family. Your family is an institution. And if your family is unhealed, like most families, then you've been institutionalized by the toxicity and the dysfunction in your family. Now, if y'all come from a particular city, you're institutionalized by the thoughts, beliefs, traditions, and cultures of that damn city. Now, that city is in a state, belief systems, thoughts, traditions. You went to school in that state, that school is an institution, whether it's kindergarten, elementary, junior high, middle school, high school, college. You've been institutionalized your whole life. And if you've been institutionalized, trust me, your thoughts aren't original, nor are your angers or your triggers You mean what triggered me is program? All right. All right, listen, it's fine. Listen, man. Listen. Y'all want to support your brother Zoe Williams? Please do so. I'd appreciate it. Please, you can support a couple of ways. Nobody ever buys my book. I think I got one book sale in the last 3 weeks. I shipped it off the last 2 weeks. And that's not because people don't like the book. I think my core fans have already bought it. See, Vanetta said she got 2 or 3 of them. So that's what I said. I just think my core fans have already purchased it. I have to find a way to market it and promote it and get it out to a new group of fans, which is fine. But if you want to go to my Cash App, please support my Cash App. My Cash App is $ZoWhat Netter. $ZoWhat Netter. Moderators, can you put that in? Wait a minute. Hold on before I speak too fast. Let's see. Somebody purchased a book. Jacob Banks. Come on, Jacob Banks. Jacob Banks purchased a book. And we got an order for He Is Risen. I'm telling you right now that He Is Risen, listen, it's better than all of that stuff out there. I promise you. No chemicals, none of that is in He Is Risen, all right? None of it is in He Is Risen. It is all natural. I got people, let me not talk. I don't want to put people out there too bad. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Do we got one more video? I think we're going to go out on this video. Can everybody support the best way they know how? You can go to my Cash App, $ZoWhat Netter, or what's the name of this video?
Short-sighted viewpoint.
Booyah. You guys can go to my Cash App, $ZoWhat Netter. You can go to my website, Mr. ZoWhat. I want you guys to continue to support Russell Herbals. Please get the detox from Russell Herbal. You can get the base level detox. These pills are going to work even better. Again, we had to take them off the website for a minute because they wanted to, Dr. Russell wanted to make sure that the ingredients were put on here. So we made sure that they had labels, and then they went from 8 capsules back to 10. So go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. Support. Also, stay tuned tonight. The Voice of Reason show with Zoe Williams is on KBLA Talk 1580. We want everybody to continue support. Hey, I had a good time. Play that video, and that'll be the end of the show. If you guys want to super chat while this video is on, please do that. Or if you want to send me a Cash App, please do that. Check this video out.
Here's what happened, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong. When you make movies that only make a ton of money, and they're only one kind of movie, you begin to get a large segment of the population out of the habit of going to the movies. And then you begin to eliminate the importance of movies culturally. Yes. You lose, when you are so quarterly earnings, bottom line minded, you lose I think, the big brain vision to say, look, I have no problem with a comic book movie. I have seen excellent ones made. I think Tim Burton's second Batman is a beautiful movie, and Michelle Pfeiffer's brilliant in it. I think what Chris Nolan does, and my friend Matt Reeves certainly did the deep dive with his Batman film. So I know that there are things that can be done in the genre. That's not an argument saying all comic book movies are terrible and they shouldn't be made. No, of course they should be made. The slate, though, the fact that it is no longer broad-based for theatrical by the studios means that they have forced a smaller and smaller and smaller segment of the population to like it.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
And you know instantly what movie that is.
Right.
You cannot quote me a single line from Aquaman. You
Right.
can't. So what does that mean? It means the cultural and Academy Awards, they know it.
Yeah.
They sit around and they say, why is the viewership? Why is it going down?
Yeah.
It's going down because we did not make the investment in the broad-based engagement with the product. I know, maybe a movie that was made, well, you know, Ang Lee movie Ice Storm, maybe that didn't make $1 billion, but you know what? It maintained broad-based interest.
Exactly.
So we've got to force it back. And you know what? The studios should be willing to lose money for a couple of years on art film divisions. And in the end, they will be happier.